न तस्य कार्यं करणं च विद्यते न तत्समश्चाभ्यधिकश्च दृश्यते परास्यर्शक्तिर्विविधैव श्रूयते स्वाभाविकी ज्ञानबलक्रिया च.
Initially, Arjuna was absolutely weak and Gandiva was falling from his hand, he was shivering, he was sweating, and he was speaking all big words. The whole first chapter, if you are careful, you will find that it is not Krishna speaking to Arjuna, but Arjuna giving message to Krishna. And what message? About dharma, adharma, etc. It is Arjuna telling Krishna that what we, means including Krishna, what we are going to do is adharma, it is not dharma. And what will happen to the society, what will happen if we do this adharmic war, if we fight, then this will happen, that will happen. So Shankaracharya has not commented on the first chapter at all, saying that it is Arjuna's pralapa. Pralapa means delusory words. But actually it is not so. Vyasadeva has deliberately put to give the condition of a good dharmic person, a person who was righteous, who knew the codes of, the moral codes of dharma. Dharma means the law of sustenance. Dharma does not mean religion. It is absolutely another widespread misunderstanding. Dharma, there is no corresponding English word at all. Dharma is the natural, the fundamental law of sustenance, which sustains us and sustains nature, sustains the society. That is called dharma. So nobody, whatever religion we may belong to, nobody can flout dharma. If we flout dharma, then we will be perished, as we are doing. Suppose in creating all sorts of pollution because of our overpowering greed or so, actually we are going against dharma, against the natural law of sustenance. So by that, the pollution and other corruption, everything is killing us by so many kinds of diseases, so many kinds of disabilities, etc. So whenever we go against dharma, we are also punished by dharma. It is said that dharma eva hato hanti dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Dharma eva hato hanti. If you kill dharma, that means if you violate dharma, then dharma will kill you. Dharma means the natural law will kill you. If you pollute the water, if you pollute the sea, if you pollute the atmosphere, then the atmosphere, the water, everything will kill you. If you go against dharma, if you violate dharma, dharma will kill you, destroy you. Dharma eva hato hanti dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. If we protect dharma, then dharma will protect us. If we follow the natural law of sustenance in our life, in our practices, then nature will see that we are also protected. Nature will protect the civilization. So, but when the dharma codes are given, moral codes are given, such depth in that will not be there. The depth which we find in spirituality, they will not be there in the moral codes. To go to spirituality, we have to go beyond all dualities, all the limitations of the codes and everything. Now, this dharma instruction, quoting dharma, whatever Arjuna said, Krishna listened to that patiently. It is before the war, there is hurry, but still he listened to all that. Then finally started telling him that whatever you have spoken is all nonsense. It is from your weakness. You are a coward. You have lost all your manliness. Like that, he had to admonish Arjuna. Why? Because it is necessary. Because in his delusion, although he was grieving, but he was preaching many things. He was talking about dharma to Krishna. So there was lot of ego. Do you understand? How could he? He could have asked Krishna. He knew that Krishna is the knower. So there was lot of ego that he was. It is just like if I start preaching Swamiji and telling him this is not, that is this and all, it is like that. A new person, as when I came to Baba first, I appeared before him. Baba is the Gurudev of Swamiji also. From Swamiji I came to know and then went to Baba. The first when I met, naturally, why have I come? He asked. He looked at me with the keen eyes. Have you seen his picture? It's very sharp, penetrating eyes. Looked, he was very old at that time, smiled. It was we call it Bhuvana Mohini smile. That means a smile which will enchant the whole world. So, with that smile, he said, "Who are you? Where from have you come?" Nobody comes to me nowadays. Because he was left alone in the village, in a remote village. Nobody would know, nobody would visit. This is the kind of civilization we had. But a knower has to be known by people to give it to the next generation. How will he give? There is a natural law which brings a seeker to the teacher also. That is there. And for that it is bounden on the sannyasins particularly to walk through the villages and everywhere, go on parivrajana. It is called parivrajana. So that the seekers come to know of them and they can imbibe the knowledge. Otherwise nobody will have the occasion to know them. How will the knowledge get propagated in the next generation? So it was bounden for the sannyasin, the parivrajana was bounden for the sannyasins. I always smilingly say that our parivrajana is not walking parivrajana, it is by flight now. But actually it is the same thing. Whenever I have to come to, whether it is Malaysia or USA or Delhi or wherever, whenever I have to go to away from the ashram, I start saying that I feel very sad and miserable. I start telling also that I don't feel like going, absolutely not feel like going at all anywhere. I want to simply remain. So often Ma says that, or Swamiji says that, don't start crying before going anywhere. It's not crying in the literal sense, but it is almost like that. So one day while taking food, while we take food, generally we speak about everything. Otherwise there is no time to talk. So myself, Swamiji, Ma, we take food together, and those who serve one or two ladies, they also are there. That is the time we have all our important, deep conversations. Dining table is a conversation table. So one day I was telling Swamiji like this. Then Swamiji said, he calls me. You know that Nutan Swamiji people call me. This name came, Nutan in Sanskrit means, or Hindi or Bengali, it means new. So when I came to the ashram, our Swamiji was there. He was Bada Swamiji, and there was another sannyasin who was called Chota Swamiji. So how I will be called? The medium sannyasin also, I was given the name Naya Swamiji and Nutun Swamiji, or in Malayalam it is Putiya Swamiji. So I am called there even now Putiya Swamiji. But Swamiji calls me Nutun. Nutun in Bengali, the small children will say Nutun. Swamiji calls me in that manner. So he said that, Nutun, this is our parivrajana. This is what we are doing. What else shall we do? We have to go from place to place. May not be walking, but on the aircraft we have to move, or by train we have to go here and there. Otherwise, how will people come? How will we do the service to the people? Because for a sannyasin, there is nothing other than loka sangraha, that is service to the people. In Bhagavad Gita you will find again and again it is said that sarva loka hite rataha, sarva bhuta hite rataha. Not only people but of all beings, for the welfare of all beings. What will a sannyasin do? What will a knower do? Because he has nothing more to have from them. He has nothing to have from the world. So why should he live? What will he do? Bhagavad Gita again and again reminds that he remains for the welfare of the people, welfare of the society. And that is called Loka Sangraha. Whatever they do, it is only Loka Sangraha. Even taking food is Loka Sangraha. Why? Because taking food is important for keeping the body. Not only that, the body has to be maintained in its sattvika, with its all sattvika qualities. Otherwise, the truth will not come out properly, forcefully from his mouth. Are you able to follow? It is not easy. Suppose the food given to us is not pure. It is too impure, rajasic, tamasic, etc. Then whatever behavior is coming out of the being, out of the body, will also have those qualities. So our speech, our words will not become so powerful, so penetrating, so much inspiring to people if we are not in an extremely sattvika state. If we are depending on the sattva-guna in the being, the vibrations also will be there. Not only that, I always say that it depends on the audience also. Whatever we speak, it is not that we are speaking or giving a prepared speech. Seeing the people, whatever comes to our mind, it comes out. And we are the first listeners. Before the words come out, we don't know. When the words come out, we are the first listeners. And if the audience is having enough of sattva-guna and keenness, humility, etc., then automatically the truth will come out with greater clarity, greater force. So for that we are not responsible. For that the ambience, the audience, their mindset, everything is responsible for that. So, Loka Sangraha is the only work of a sannyasin. Whatever he does, it is for Loka Sangraha. Now, Loka Sangraha does not mean collecting people. That, more and more people should come to SIRD and our team will become very powerful, very big and we will rule the whole world. No, that is not Loka Sangraha of a sannyasin. Loka Sangraha means Lokanam Lokasya Unmarga Pravritti Nivrittartham Karma. Lokasya Unmarga Pravritti Nivrittartham Karma. Lokasya means of the society. Lokasya. Unmarga Pravritti. Utmarga Pravritti. Marga means the auspicious path. So left to itself, the society will always be moving towards destruction. Why? Because society is full of people who are guided by selfishness, all kinds of greed, desires, competition, himsa, violence. So, because the society is an aggregate, if it is left to the people's natural tendencies, which is always slave to the objective situation, we are always behaving slave to our lower tendencies. If the society is left to those tendencies, then the society will move towards degeneration, destruction. Unmarga, that means it will move from the auspicious path, from the marga. This is the natural tendency of the society to always move from the auspicious path to the inauspicious things, degenerate. So, Loka Sangraha means Unmarga Pravritti Nivrittartham Karma, that there should be always an effort to bring back the society on the auspicious track. How will you bring back? Spirituality is that. To tell them about the reality, their inner power, their real identity, and all the tendencies, lower tendencies. If we work as a slave to them, then we will also not be fulfilled. We will be degenerated. And instituting the good tendencies which will be bringing them back and anchor them to their inmost reality. I give a scientific example there. There are two kinds of forces. We say centrifugal forces and centripetal forces. Centrifugal means which throws you away from the center, which is outward from the center. It's called centrifugal force. And centripetal means which brings you to the, pushes you towards the center, keeps you anchored to the center. Now, this Udmarga Pravritti means centrifugal force. The society is always taking us away from our real identity because there are so many kinds of attraction and repulsions. They are always pulling us away, making us desireful of getting this, getting that, or killing him, killing that, or beating him, whatever. The hating somebody and getting attracted to somebody. So these are all forces which are centrifugal, which are taking our mind away from the core identity. Centripetal force means which is bringing us back to our core identity. So as in the society these centrifugal forces are increasing, is it not increasing now? Even 20 years back you did not have these mobiles and so many distracting forces. 50 years back you did not have the laptops and the tablets and all, nothing. So you could know very little of the world to distract you. Now even if you don't want, if you open the laptop, things will forcefully come in, trying to attract you. If you don't want, you cannot reject them. You can just simply switch them off, but they will come. If you walk on the street also, all the posters will haunt your mind. They don't have any meaning in some cases, but still they want business, they want to attract you and sell their product. For that they will attract you by any means they want. They will not look into your welfare or your mind's welfare. They will try to exploit the lower tendencies of you. Is it not? So everywhere these distracting tendencies are increasing. As with our lopsided material growth, these distracting powers are increasing and increasing every day. So, do we not need more of centripetal forces to keep the society and our children on the auspicious path now? So don't we need more like Gita Ashram and SIRD and other institutions who are trying to regenerate this inner power to create the centripetal force in the society? Should we not help our children to at least understand this and help them also to gather more and more of centripetal force so that the society cannot spoil them, cannot destroy them? So many youth are now absolutely, we will call it destruction. They don't know what to do in life. They have everything, they have enough of money, they have all the properties, but they don't know where to go, what to do with that. This is the situation. It is more pathetic in the Western countries than perhaps here, but everywhere it is becoming like that. So, the spirituality means it is the generation of that centripetal force more and more in the society and in ourselves in the personality level. Now, to do that, as long as our mind is egoistic, when the ego is very strong, you will not be able to generate this centripetal force because the ego will refute it. It will oppose it. That is what happens with if you ask the children to come for a spiritual lecture, will they come? Oh, you are all Buddhas, you are all old people. You don't have anything else to do, you go there. It is not for us. I am going for the club, I am going for some movie or something, whatever. Now movie nobody goes, but so as long as the ego is strong, this cannot be generated. So Krishna had to take the harsh method of admonishing Arjuna right and left, telling him that he was the most famous warrior. And Krishna is telling me, you are coward, you don't have the manliness, you are wanting to go away, run away from the war field. Everybody, your whole generation will be maligned by that. So by this admonishing only the Arjuna's ego came down. Otherwise this Bhagavad Gita message would not have been possible. That is why I am telling so many things. The second chapter, the 7th verse, is very important. There, Arjuna finally, his ego is sublimated. He comes down and utters one of the great submissions from the disciple. What is he saying? Karpanya dosho apahata svabhavaha pritchami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yat shreyasyat nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. He says that Karpanya dosho apahata svabhavaha. This is the first time. Just before that, he was lecturing Krishna, saying that what we are going to do is adharma, this will happen, that will happen. Now he says, no, Krishna, I am haunted by Karpanya dosha. What is Karpanya dosha? Generally, Kripana we mean miserliness. But we use the word in terms of wealth generally. Those who are not spending their wealth, the miser in spending their wealth. Kripana. But actually this Kripanata is more important not in the wealth sense but in the sense of mental constrictions. Why are we not able to appreciate other people? Suppose somebody has done something good and the person I may not like. We will not be able to appreciate him properly. Why? Because the mind is constricted. I am not able to expand to the level that I can generously appreciate others. This is Karpanya dosha. If I am not able to understand a higher, loftier truth, it is Karpanya dosha. The mind is constricted. So any constriction of the mind is Kripanata of the mind, Karpanya dosha. So Arjuna is saying that I am affected by the Karpanya dosha in my mind, the constrictions of my mind. Pritchami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha. Aham dharma sammudha chetaha. Mudha chetaha means ignorance. Here it is sammudha chetaha means samyak ignorance, means absolutely. I am absolutely confused about what is dharma and what is adharma. Just now he was telling Krishna that this is dharma, this is adharma, and he was preaching. Now getting the scolding from Krishna, he has come down and is saying, I am absolutely confused about dharma and adharma. See how the mind works. Then, Pritchamitvam, that is why I am asking you. Yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me. Where lies the Shreyas? Where lies the ultimate auspicious goal? Where lies the life's fulfillment? Yat Shreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me. I am asking you, where lies the ultimate auspicious goal of life, the ultimate fulfillment of life? This Shreyas word also you should know. Many people are giving names to their daughters as Shreyas, etc. But the meaning is very deep. In Kathopanishad we have two words, Shreyas and Preyas. Shreya and Preya. Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyas is that which is the ultimate goal of life, the ultimate auspicious goal of life. And Preyas is whatever we like for immediate pleasure. So, we are generally guided by the prayers. Whatever is immediately pleasurable, we run after that. But to become a spiritual seeker, we have to be a seeker of Shreyas. That is, prayers has to be always abandoned or understood properly. And we should always opt for the Shreyas. Whenever there is an option, there is a prayers and Shreyas, a seeker should be able to opt for the Shreyas and not to be attracted by the prayers. So he says that I am not after prayers. Just before that in the first chapter he said that Yat Rajya Sukhalobhena Hantum Svajana Mudyataha. Most of you were there yesterday. This I discussed at that time. He said that we are out to fight this absolutely sinful war for Rajya Sukhalobha, for winning the kingdom, for greed for winning the kingdom and have the comfort of kingdom, he said. That means Shreyas or Preyas? Preyas. He was after Rajya Sukha Lobha. Rajya Sukha. Rajya Sukha. That means Preyas. Now he is saying, no, I am not after Preyas, Krishna. I am a seeker of Shreyas. Yes, Shreyasya Nishchitam Bruhitam me. You tell me without any ambiguity. Maybe he knew that he was a friend of Krishna, so Krishna was always speaking with some ambiguousness also. He was humorous. Nishchitam Bruhitam me. Without any ambiguity you tell me where lies the Preyas, Shreyas. Now, why should Krishna tell him? Suppose anybody asks about spirituality also, do you think that we will tell immediately? That tell me what is the ultimate goal of life. We will try to give some answer, but unless we find that the person is really interested in it, we will not tell the truth, because he doesn't deserve it, and it will not be beneficial for him also. So, why should he tell? He says that Shishyasteham. Shreyasya Nishchitam Bruhitam me. Shishyasteham. This is the first time in life Arjuna told Krishna that I am your disciple. Just before that, what did he say? You become my charioteer. Is it not? You become my charioteer. Such was Arjuna's ego. When that ego was completely hammered, now he has come down to the level of disciple and he is saying that you have to tell me because I am your disciple. Shishyasteham. Shadhi mam. You give me your discipline, I am ready to follow the discipline. Who will become a Shishya? The Shishya word has come from Shasana, from discipline. That is a person who is ready to follow the discipline given by the teacher. The words of discipline, the words of teacher, he is ready to follow. Then only he will be a Shishya. So he is claiming here that Shishyasteham, I am your Shishya. Not only that, you give me your discipline, I am ready to follow it. And why should you give me discipline suddenly? Krishna was his friend. He said, Tvam prapannam. I have taken refuge in you, Krishna. This refuge, when